Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we just have some very intriguing stuff coming up for the PlayStation CEO himself in regards to a lot of inner workings when it comes to the PlayStation, and as well, as you guys heard, the brand new PlayStation Plus changes. There's actually some intriguing news as well in regards of why they're not basically copying Game Pass, and there's a bunch of little various things we can go and kind of talk about into. There's a lot of stuff to go talk about. They actually have a really cool article from Games Industry who did an actual interview itself, so just have a lot of quotes, a lot of information, a lot of things to kind of bring on up for this, and when it comes to the PlayStation itself, somewhat affecting the future too as well. So a lot of cool and a lot of nifty stuff to go talk about. And as well, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. You also have the Amazon link still down below if you guys want to let me go with a rundown on how you guys thought about that drop and everything else too as well. Well, the digital and disc just in case as well, just for round twos or in returns or whatever it is, down below. The Twitter and Twitch stream as well if you guys want to follow up on either or, the Twitter giveaway, the Weeble, and the Coinbase all down below. And let's dive in the video itself. So, as I mentioned, we usually do see a lot of PlayStation Plus news, especially this past few days. Yesterday, we had a pretty big in-depth announcement on that they actually are changing the internals for it. They're changing some price points, they're changing some features, and as well, the one big thing is they have more stuff coming soon, as of in June, and as well, we mainly just haven't seen a really good Game Pass competition. Now, a lot of people are kind of comparing the two, and they are somewhat similar, although as of right now, Sony still stands by their new PS Plus is not meant to be a competitor, just a better feature for their own individual community. But they also had Jim Ryan go make a lot of statements in regards to this, so let's go and talk about it. So like I said, this is an article over here from Game Industry, so let's go and dive into it. There's going to be a lot of different quotes and mentions from Jim, basically the good old big boss himself, so let's go and talk about it. So, PlayStation's Jim Ryan, our games could suffer if they went straight to PlayStation Plus. The platform's holder CEO discusses the potential for games subscription services. So it's been kind of a big one over here because a lot of folks have been hardcore harping on this, mainly because the Game Pass itself was a really good selling point for Xbox, and that's what a lot of folks, myself included, were kind of expecting. I still would have expected like a Crunchyroll or Funimation tie-in on my wishful thinking. I was hoping for maybe just a smidgen of day one release games, but sadly, we didn't really get that much. So as you guys can tell, whenever a new platform or service gets announced, the focus is inevitably on what's missing rather than what's there. And day one consoles giving us AAA games. God of War day one. Sorry. Sony's new PlayStation Plus subscription offerings boast online multiplayer access, which should just be a given. It used to be free in the PS3. Hundreds of PS4 and PS5 games, kind of cool, especially if you guys have not had your console. Although, if you have had your console for a while, probably don't care that much. Streaming, not the world's worst, although once again, want newer games for it. Retro titles, I do enjoy. I have kind of really nothing bad to say about that. And game trials too. Cool idea. If it was free, although you have to pay the extra higher cost, I believe. From all that, I think you have to pay the extra $18 a month. So at that point, you basically just go pay for a game and have the normal baseline thing itself, and apply pay for the brand new game after a few months either way. So first and foremost, a lot of critiques on it. It could be a lot better, and I am a little bit on the somewhat disappointed side. But what it also doesn't include as well, like its main competitor, are the first-party games that launched in the service at the same time they come out at retail. And I think everyone would just be jumping for joy if that actually came out. So here's some nice little statements over here from Jim Ryan, the PlayStation CEO. "We feel like we are in a good, virtuous cycle with the studios," explains him CEO, "where the investment delivers success, which enables yet more investment, which delivers yet more success. We like that cycle, and we think our gamers like that cycle." Now, really quickly, I'm okay with it. I understand that not everything has Microsoft money and the trillions of dollars. I get it, but man, it would have been so nice. It would have been so useful. And they probably actually would have maybe made long-term money, although it is risky. Right now, their formula does work. He continues, "In terms of putting our own games into the service or any of our services upon their release, as you well know, this is not a road that we've gone down in the past. And it's not a road that we're going to be going down with this new service," which that alone just makes me sad. That's just disappointing. "We feel if we were to do that with the games that we make at PlayStation Studios, that fortuitous cycle will be broken. The level of investment that we need to make in our studios would not be possible, and we think the knockoff effect on the quality of games that we make would not be something that gamers want." And now, at the same time, that is kind of true. A lot of the Xbox exclusives, although it's only been two, it's been Forza and Halo, both have been kind of on the mediocre side. While a lot of the time, I still loved it myself personally, but just overall comparison, the fleshed out games and other games. And I can maybe stand by that. Like, if you want to go and spend $50 million plus for just crazy amounts of money on a good game like God of War, sometimes you may not make that money back from, well, a Game Pass for Sony. I mean, it makes sense. But it just kind of make me sad too because it'd be so nice. So I understand why. I understand their mindset. I understand their business model. But I mean, I think a lot of you guys would probably agree we're kind of just on the sad side. Ryan's view on this isn't unique to Sony. Most AAA publishers are reluctant to put their most recent games into subscription services. The counter argument is that by putting your latest title on PS Plus or Xbox Game Pass, you're potentially widening your audience. Overnight, your new release could have tens of millions of players, and if your game has other forms of monetization in it, then that revenue potential is significant, which would make a lot of sense too as well, although it doesn't seem like Sony likes to go push a lot of other games with microtransactions, while think Halo had them and Forza had them, although there was Gran Turismo as of recently. And even if your game doesn't have microtransactions, Xbox believes that subscriptions combined with streaming is the key to finding new console players, which I can also agree on that too as well. And if you keep on selling a lot of these games that are basically made around microtransactions too, it does make sense. Ryan's perspective is a pragmatic one, and PlayStation's current position on this is entirely subject to change. The way the world is changing so very quickly, at the moment, nothing is forever. Which, like, this is like my one little bit of like hopium where I would love it. You get like a new CEO, or you get like a really big, like maybe Game Pass gets more numbers than Sony, maybe finally be a slap in the face, and they might start offering it. Who would have even said 4 years ago that you would see AAA PlayStation IPs being published on PC? I probably would have said that because it's just dumb that you don't. You give me a board moon with these guys, they'll make them a bunch of money. We started that last year with Horizon Zero Dawn, then Days Gone, and now God of War, a hugely polished and accomplished PC version of that game. We've had great critical success and great commercial success, and everybody has made their peace with that happening and completely at ease with it. I look back 4 years and think nobody would have seen that coming. I'm a PC gamer, I would have saw that coming so quick. Like, literally get me a CEO job. Like, I will make people so much money. So I don't want to cast anything in stone at this stage, which is nice to see, although open-ended. This is not really sounding like he's convinced to go ever change up the model for PS Plus or other stuff, but like the potential of it being there is nice. Now, if it even does, you'd probably have to wait a few more years, but it kind of seems like one of those things, whenever Xbox and Microsoft kind of passes them on subscribers, I think at that point, that's when Sony might get a wake-up call and be like, well, maybe we should consider it, you know? So basically for them, the way our publishing model works right now, it doesn't make any sense, but things can change very quickly in this industry, as we all know. Which would make a lot of sense though too, because if you space out your games, kind of how they do for Halo and Forza, once you kind of use your Game Pass for the month, at that point, you don't really need it. Like, you can kind of just get rid of it unless you want to play all the other indie games. I'm more someone who cares more about the AAAs, so I'd probably just re-up for every AAA game. Outside of what PlayStation isn't doing with its new PS Plus options, it's worth talking about what it is doing. So at the basic level, in regards to all this stuff, it is bringing together its PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now subscription service, which total together around 50 million subscribers. 75 PS Now subscribers also subscribe to PS Plus, so it also makes sense to unite the two services together, and for those 75, they'll find their overall cost going down. Although I'm almost kind of curious for you guys, did anyone in my community actually have a PlayStation Now already? I'm a little bit kind of curious on that. Looking at pricing generally, there are 3 tiers of PS Plus, as in case you guys missed it from yesterday. PS Plus Essentials is identical to PS Plus today and is priced the same, $10. PlayStation Plus Extra adds in a library of PS4 and PS5 games, $15 a month. But once again, once you kind of go through that library, or like once you get your console in a few months in, I'd probably just go back to the normal baseline. And then PS Plus Premium includes all that, plus the game trials, game streaming, and all the old school games. So once again, I just kind of feel like it's just nice for bonus extra stuff, but I really feel like not many folks are going to go for the $15 or $18 mark as well. In comparison to Xbox offerings though, and that's something that stinks, is that the Xbox is actually a better value with day one games, and it's just literally even cheaper. So that's kind of the one bigger struggle for that one too as well. It has been competitive, but I really wish it would have been a little bit on the slightly cheaper, because $18 is kind of a lot. It is a fact, for our service at least, that the great majority of people subscribe through a 12-month subscription, myself included. Ryan explains. It's more than 2/3 of who subscribe that way. That is an area of value proposition that we have looked at very hard. What we are delivering is that for a 12-month subscriber, and that is a great majority of people, the monthly subscription rate for the PlayStation Plus Extra will be $8.33, which is not bad. I mean, it's not awful, but yeah. And then the PlayStation Plus Premium will be at $9.99. We think that what people are going to get, that's a terrific value proposition, and one that simply wouldn't be possible if we were to put our studio's games into service upon their release. But I would have been down. You paid $25. How about that? I would have been down. Like, why not? You probably would have made more money back. I think some people like the deal, and they'll go through the game in 1 month, and then some people just forget about it, put on auto renewal, and at the end of the day, if you only release 3 major games, that would have been, what, $210? And then if you would have had someone on auto renewal for the whole year, you would have made a lot more money. You probably would have made like $300. So at the end of the day, you still could have had like a proper, like profitable margin, and people would have still been happy. I mean, just at least for me. So Sony may not putting its latest releases in, but there's also thankfully at least some good titles too, if you guys saw that from yesterday, with Miles Morales, Returnal, and a few other various games too as well, and along with indies too on top of it. Now really quickly too, we're going to talk on the old school games too as well, where they go and save for the retro games. Obviously it's not for everybody, which is why it's been around from the premium tier. Ryan says, but there are people like me who have been around forever, who have played those games and loved those games 20 odd years ago. Or maybe it's people whose parents rave about these games and want to try them for themselves. Once we can share the lineup with the world, we think there's going to be a lot of interest in that. And I think once again, it'd be kind of cool, but for me, I'd probably be a fair weather fan, do it for like, a month or two. Streaming is also within the premium tier, and again, that might be nice in the future, but even now, the PS Now had a lot of issues too as well. So Sony feels it's done a good job with the PS5 so far. Manufacturing challenges aside, as the console's been well received, true. The controller, true. A good exclusive amount of games, good, true as well. And a lot of the most recent games of the Horizon Gran Turismo also performing well too on top of that. And yeah. The one big thing is still just how good this would actually be. And even if it doesn't immediately attract new customers, there's at least another 48 million people who might be convinced or might maintain their stuff. He goes on to go and state, it's all about rounding off the offer that we have. With platforms that seldom just one single thing that makes a platform really attractive, it's a combination of many things, and having a really strong service proposition definitely helps. Clearly, within our existing audience base, we have the opportunity to attract PlayStation owners who are not PlayStation Plus subscribers at present, which kind of surprising me. The additional opportunity is the 48 million PlayStation Plus subscribers, and get them to trade up to Extra or Premium, and our task is made rather easier there by the fact that they are existing PlayStation Plus subscribers, so we have an extremely close relationship to as well. So, subscriptions have certainly grown in importance over the course of the last few years. He concludes, our PlayStation Plus subscriber number has grown from 0 to 2010 to 48 million now, and they're anticipating more growth in the future. But the medium of gaming is so very different to music and the linear entertainment that I don't think it will go to see the levels that we see with Spotify and Netflix. Maybe not as of yet. I think it's just a little more of a slower grow. Some of the live service games that are providing very successful these days, which is why Sony wants to push more into that as well. And I'm not restricting this comment to consoles. They're effectively subscription services in themselves. They're very much tailored to the needs of the gamer who loves whatever game that they spend hours and hours with month after month after month. The phenomenon of the live service game that has, in a very large part, fueled the enormous growth of the gaming industry that we've seen over the last 10 years. I think that trend towards a live service will continue, and if you look at for a model in our category of entertainment, which supports sustained engagement over a long period of time, live service games are arguably fit that bill better than a subscription service. So, I don't know, it's kind of cool. It's kind of sad that we won't see too much more when it comes to Xbox Game Pass. I personally would love that more, but at least he kind of had like at least somewhat of like a corporate run on the fact that they just want to grow their PlayStation base. They're kind of trying out their best to focus on their individual games, and at the end of the day, that seems about it. So kind of give me your thoughts and comments on all this stuff when it comes to Jim Ryan as well. Make sure you guys are just having a good time. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 disc digital console controller. Twitter and Twitch stream as well, link down below. Amazon links down below, and the Weeble and Coinbase down below. Give me all your thoughts and comments down below too as well. And good shout out over here to Games Industry Biz for the article itself. Love you guys.